Boyfriend's best friend is hitting on me by belittling my abilities and sabotaging my relationship. I, F18, have been with my boyfriend, M18, for almost a year. I met X, M18, our mutual best friend, through my boyfriend almost a year ago. X is a really sweet guy and we get along really well. We can talk about anything and have a lot, banter, and inside jokes, etc. However, on several occasions he would always question my relationship with my boyfriend, saying stuff like he didn't think I'd be into my BF. X always tries to prove to me he is smarter than my boyfriend, constantly shows off when he beats my boyfriend on a mark or in a game, always points out differences between my boyfriend and I, saying it's a weird relationship. He acts like if I broke up with my BF I would date him. I tried making it clear that I'm not attracted to him even though we share a lot of the same values. He also puts me down a lot and doesn't really believe in me. Like I told him how I find intelligent and hard-working guys attractive and he asked me how smart I think I am to be able to get a guy like that, etc. He also one time said he wants his girlfriend to be smart but not too smart, kinda like me apparently. It's ironic coming from him since he watches Netflix and does nothing all day every day. While I actually have 2 jobs and several other extracurriculars. TLDR, I think my boyfriend's best friend is jealous. He said I should raise my standards and be with someone more similar to me, aka him. He also tries to repeatedly stop me from aiming higher and it's starting to affect my self-esteem. Yay, toxic jealous little bastard. Tell your boyfriend. This guy is a friend to neither of you. I knew people like this in high school, leaving high school. He's looking for a sense of power behind his destruction of others. Call out that shit. Bluntly. The more he does it, the more obvious his behavior becomes. Ask what his problem is with you. When he denies he has any problem with you, as he probably will, point out his behavior and ask again. He does. His actions demonstrate as much. Don't let him weasel out from answering for himself. X is a really sweet guy. No. He isn't. This is not a sweet, kind guy. He's a douchebag. He's supposed to be a mutual best friend, yet he negs you, puts down your boyfriend, and questions and ridicules your relationship. You both need to dump this loser. He's not a friend to either of your. He's not a sweet guy if he's hitting on you plus belittling you, your relationship, and his friend. Have you told your boyfriend about what his friend says to you? Is he competitive with your boyfriend? It almost sounds like he is trying to take you from him as some sort of, I'm better than you, game. This guy's is not your friend. He's a classic, nice guy, and is negging you by undermining you and your relationship. Is your boyfriend aware of his behavior? You should definitely start distancing yourself and maybe ask your boyfriend to too. I am confused why you are posting about this on SM instead of removing this toxic person from your life. I am sorry that this kind of person is your best friend, and to both of you yet. Why? Do you need some kind of validation to remove this person from your life? Well, here you go. Ditch this little bitch. Why would you tolerate this kind of behavior from anyone, much less your supposed best friend? Friends are in your life because they bring something positive and support you. This person is not your friend. He wants a girlfriend that's smart but not too smart. Dude can't be that intelligent if that's the way he feels. Google negging. This guy is jealous and wants to bang you. He will do whatever to keep you thinking you're as worthless as he knows himself to be, so you don't aim higher. Talk to your boyfriend about this. First of all, he's basically talking bad about him, so he should know. Second, if he's constantly belittling you, it could be very toxic and it could be affecting you without you realizing it, so get out of that. Lastly, if he thinks he is so much better than you and thinks you should raise standards, then you should use his own logic against him and say something like, well, if so much better, then why do you talk to people like us? This is just my opinion on what I would do in that situation. Nonetheless, the main thing I would encourage is talking about this with BF. X is a really sweet guy, except he is trying to sabotage my relationship. Shit talks, my BF disrespects me and my relationship. Logic doesn't check out. He is manipulating you. But you also need to understand he may be trying to get to you because he is jealous of the time his best friend spends with you. You also need to be careful of how you tell your boyfriend about this. Remember, you never know what that asshole is telling your boyfriend about you. True love includes trust with you. Also record anything you can. Why do you keep this person in your life? This is going to end terribly. X is a really sweet guy and we get along really well. We can talk about anything and have a lot, banter, and inside jokes, etc. He's not a sweet guy. He's a weasel that's trying to ruin your relationship. Cut him off, and tell your boyfriend so you can both stop interacting with him. Convert the word smart into something concrete, and then watch him make a fool of himself trying to belittle it. For instance, talk about how you are attracted to guys that study hard and well. Or guys that love to read. Or guys into making cool things. Or guys who volunteer to make the world a better place, by doing soup kitchens, etc. And when he belittles these things, look at him sweetly and say, "This is why we would never ever be a good fit." He sounds like a horrible friend that should be cut off. That said, I noticed you mentioned in the comments that your boyfriend refuses to cut contact with your ex-best friend who tried to sabotage your relationship. So while I don't think you should entertain him, the guy friend, I do think you should spend a little time thinking about why he's so convinced your boyfriend isn't good enough for you. It's entirely possible that he feels so comfortable voicing his disapproval and outright disrespecting you and your relationship because he knows something you don't know. That is not a friend to your BF. I've seen a few friendships end because a guy wants the other's girl, regardless if they got her or not. I would not chill with that guy alone ever. Also remember, boys tend to be a few years behind in maturity. Dude needs his own girl to help keep his hormones in check. Sounds like this guy is a massive arsehole. Sounds like he's in love with you. Cut him off? It's that simple. He's disrespecting your boyfriend and relationship with his comments. Don't let him get away with it. Nip it in the bud. Reverse the roles. What if your girl best friend was saying those things to your boyfriend you know? Next time record him if he's saying it to you or screenshot the messages and show your boyfriend. You guys don't need someone like that. I've seen your post history and this whole swamp you're in is insanely toxic. Your boyfriend, his best friend, your ex-best friend's relationship with your boyfriend. Why are you allowing all this toxicity in your life? And please, don't come here and say that you love him. You're 18 for God's sake. The last thing you need in your life is being surrounded by negativity. Open your eyes and break up with him. Hopefully you'll meet sane people if you're going to college. Just tell your boyfriend and don't talk to the moron. It sounds like he views himself as lower than you and your boyfriend both. He's trying to tear you down to his level and tear your boyfriend down while talking himself up. What a dick move to two friends of his. That's messed up. Option B is you can literally tell him to shut the fuck up next time he opens his mouth with an opinion on your relationship, or your boyfriend. It's your life, not his. When you want his opinion you can ask for it. This guy teased me off because I had friends do this to me before. Sounds like an immature passive-aggressive little narcissist. A very very small person who needs to put people down to feel good about himself. Also, if you know this guy is hitting on you, it sounds like a really good reason to put some distance between you guys. Sounds like he's not worth the effort you put into being friends with him. Also, I would definitely not trust him. Don't give him access to you. When people show you who they are you should believe them. Being friends with someone who wants you as a romantic partner is a bad idea. X is a really sweet guy. X is not a sweet guy at all. He purposely puts you down and wants you to cheat on your boyfriend and wants to sleep with his best friend's girlfriend. This isn't something a sweet guy does at all. He is a narcissist. Sounds like he's not your friend but you keep spending time with him? Stop being his friend. He puts you down and doesn't actually even want to be your friend. He is just trying to be close to you and you're over here analyzing it. That's not a friend, that's a predator. Unless you addressed this earlier, I am confused. Your post history shows that you made a thread on this sub 18 days ago about the seemingly same BF, and you gave updates that you broke up with him. Are you back together with this guy or is this a different guy? From how you described it, the boyfriend seemed to be a terrible fit for you, which was the reason you said you broke up. If this is a new guy, then you are jumping into new relationships way too fast and not giving yourself time to move on. IDK op, the timeline on this seems odd. Tell your boyfriend, I'd want to know if I had a friend like this. Stay far away from anyone who tries to hit on you by belittling you. That's pickup artist shit. They call that particular technique negging, but more generally it falls under what they call neurolinguistic programming. He's a manipulator, and you don't want to get caught up in that. Especially since you told him to back off, and he didn't back off. That's where he crossed the line. This isn't just jealousy anymore, he's flat out creeping on you now. And if that weren't enough, he's also throwing incel memes around, which only makes him creepier. This guy is an ass. idk why you or your boyfriend put up with him. Y'all are very young, which is probably part of it, but anyone who feels it necessary to use others to make themselves feel better would benefit from therapy and in the meantime deserve some space to figure out how to define themselves without needing to compare themselves to others. Why is he a sweet guy? Seems to me like he's an insecure jerk and you don't need his friendship. Yeah, he sounds like a jealous twerp. Someone who is constantly putting you down so they can bring you to their level isn't someone you should value. The most important thing you can do is tell your boyfriend. You don't even have to tell him your conclusions, you can most drop small bits at a time so he can assimilate it. Like saying, X was acting as if I'd date him if we ever broke up as if lol. And then another time, you don't think X is jealous of you do you? X was at it again today saying. I wish he'd knock it off. What this does is that it gets your boyfriend to turn on his own radar when it comes to X, and prevents any manipulations or X to break you up. You should keep your distance and talk to your boyfriend about it. There's no need for him to be a friend of yours. The fact that you spend time with him makes it seem that you like this kind of attention. Damn girl, leave that toxic environment. It's better to be alone than surrounded by assholes. Focus on yourself and have fun, you're too young to deal with all this crap. 18M here, my ex, 18F. Had a friend like this, who did the same things to her. We got along well, but when I was not there he said he was the manlier one, and stuff like that. She didn't like the fact that I was jealous, she broke up with me, but now she agrees that he undermined our relationship greatly. Not like it matters anymore though. Point is, get rid of him ASAP. He is not a friend of yours or your boyfriend's, he only cares about himself. This kid has a superiority complex and will probably end up being bitter in the real world when he realizes he doesn't compete with the actual hardworking and crazy intelligent people out there. You both need to distance yourselves from this tool. He's not going to stop and it will get worse. The more attention he's given, the more he's going to press. If your boyfriend doesn't want to sever the ties, let boyfriend know that you want nothing to do with X, and if he chooses to spend time with him, you'll make other plans. This is the beauty of being an adult. You can choose who you surround yourself with. Good luck to you. Ich hab nix Schlechtes gemacht, ich fick dicer hor Jaman such dick Sean. I would consider getting a new boyfriend if this one is so unconcerned about other people annoying you, hurting you. You're 18, you're probably too young to settle on one person anyway. He needs to step up. Is this the same dude who wanted to take a break from the relationship but expected you to still act as though you're in a relationship while he figured out himself? I thought you broke up? Why are you still with this person? Get away from that piece of SHT as soon as possible, girl. You may hurt to leave a great relationship with a close friend, but it's clear as day that he does not care about your happiness and is a very egocentric prick who only cares about what he wants, you, and even thinks that belittling you. You may see him in a better light and tries to instill you the idea that no other option is there, when you already have a boyfriend. Warn him that you don't want to keep listening to Hia comparisons, to stop hitting on you or else you'll cut him off. Sounds like he really isn't a best friend to you. Only when he thinks he can get something out of you. Go low contact. It'll be hard, too, but filter the things you go to him for. You need to either be going to your boyfriend or your family if you need help or advice with something. Otherwise it further enforces his line of thinking, well she needs me, she depends on me, that must mean we could be something if X were out of the way. Also just the biggest red flag out of all, he doesn't make you feel good about yourself. Boyfriend or not, a real friend would 1. Not do that on purpose and 2. Cut that shit out of you told them it made you feel bad. He sounds like the toxic masculinity trope in romance chick flicks on Netflix. I really wish that people didn't keep pushing that if a boy is mean to you that means he likes you, and that's what this guy's mentality sounds like. You should totally cut him out of your life because what he's doing sounds downright disrespectful and stressful sad face. He sounds like an ego-centric twat lol. Let him be jelly and petty. Start doing it to him and pointing out that he's useless lol. You need to 1. Talk with your boyfriend. Explain in detail what's going on and how it makes you uncomfortable. 2. Set boundaries with X. It is not okay to insult you. It is not okay to plant toxic seeds in your relationship. If he wants to be a mutual friend, he will respect that. 3. Stand firm in those boundaries. You may lose him as a friend, and from what I can tell, that might be necessary and more beneficial for your own well-being.